Hello, would everybody please wave? Okay, and here is my stopwatch. Can you imagine spending 24 hours a day in a metal cage, being chronically hungry, terrified for your life, and not knowing what's coming next? Well, these are the living conditions for millions of puppies across the world. Puppy mills are a serious threat to the health and quality of dogs' life, and we must take action now. First, we will identify the leading problems with puppy mills. Then, we will examine the root causes of their existence. And lastly, identify solutions towards shutting them down. Puppy mills cause significant physical and psychological harm to puppies and their moms, oftentimes even resulting in death. In addition, owners that purchase these puppies suffer financial and psychological pain due to the health issues that comes from puppy mills. The conditions of puppy mills are so overcrowded and unsanitary that many puppies are malnourished, develop skin conditions, respiratory issues, heartworms, and many other medical conditions. Animals Angels 2026 reports that many dogs spend their entire life from birth to death crammed in these conditions, never once feeling sunshine on their face, feeling the grass beneath their feet, or breathing a single breath of fresh air. These horrific conditions lead to corresponding psychological damage such as fear, anxiety, depression, and distrust. This physical and psychological damage also harms breeding dogs. Not only do breeding dogs live in the same condition, but they also do not receive proper medical treatment before, during, or after birth. Breeding dogs do not even get to bond with their puppies, and instead, they recover for a very short period of time and then are forced to become pregnant again. The ASPCA, June 8, 2020, shares the story of Groovy, a former puppy mill breeding dog who has been rescued. Groovy carries her toys around like babies and becomes very nervous and scared if anybody comes close to her toys. As if the damage to the dogs was not enough, puppy mills also often cause problems for the individuals that purchase these puppies. Oftentimes, owners are not aware that their puppy came from a puppy mill. They find out later the physical and psychological issues that they have. The Journal of Veterinary Behavior, June 2017, explains that one of the most common behaviors seen from puppy mills is aggression towards their owners. Aggression, among other behavioral issues, can be very challenging for owners to navigate, especially when they do not understand the root of the problem. Also, the financial expenses treating a puppy from a mill can cause financial strain and distress. Now that we've identified the problems with puppy mills, let's get into why puppy mills still exist. Unfortunately, puppy mills will continue to exist due to the lack of consumer awareness, lack of regulation, and the revenue that they generate. Puppy mills use strategic sales methods in order to trick consumers from knowing that they're selling from a mill. Bissell Pet Foundation, September 17, 2021, explains that owners of a mill will promote that they have a USDA license and attempt to look legit. In reality, this license is known for its weak inspection policies. Tactics such as this result in distraction from what's really happening, leaving consumers unaware. In addition, the lack of regulation of puppy mills allows them to continue operation. There are very limited federal protections for these puppies, allowing breeders to easily obtain a USDA license and continue their inhumane practices. The Animal Rescue Corps 2011 reports that puppy mills are often hidden in rural areas, so even the most basic protections are not enforced. This results in puppy mills continue to neglect and abuse dogs without being held responsible. These mills will continue to run and even increase in size as long as they generate revenue. Humane World for Animals, January 2021, reports that an estimated 2.6 million puppies originating from puppy mills are sold annually. If you take into account the potential thousands of dollars that breeders charge per puppy, the financial incentive becomes enormous, resulting in prioritizing money over the health and well-being of dogs. So, what can be done to shut down puppy mills? In order to solve this issue, it's critical that consumers are made aware of the dangers of puppy mills and can opt to purchase a puppy from animal shelters or responsible breeders. In addition, strict regulations need to be put in place to prevent these harmful conditions from continuing. If consumers stop purchasing and regulations are enforced, revenue will significantly decrease and force puppy mills to shut down. Consumers can be made aware of the dangers of puppy mills by increasing public education on social media platforms and in community outreach. For example, many of the organizations I cited previously, such as the ASPCA, work to rescue animals and educate the public on puppy mills and warning signs to look for when finding a breeder. Encouraging adoption from ethical animal shelters is another way to decrease the purchasing of puppies from mills. Do Something, November 18th, 2018, states that 3 million dogs are killed in shelters each year. Notice that 3 million is greater than 2.6 million, meaning that every single person that bought a dog from a puppy mill could have rescued a dog from an animal shelter. Another crucial step towards eliminating puppy mills is enforcing governmental regulations to ensure that all breeders keep their puppies in humane living conditions and provide them with adequate veterinary care. The Animal Welfare Act is the only federal act that is in place to protect animals. However, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has largely failed its responsibility to enforce this act. Humane World Action Fund, March 30th, 2026, explains that in order to better protect puppies, the general public should come together and sign actions alerts that are sent to the Agricultural Secretary, Brooke Rollins. The more citizens that demand enforcement, the more pressure government officials feel to enforce the Animal Welfare Act, resulting in neglectful breeders being held accountable. The combined efforts of consumer awareness and cracking down on the Animal Welfare Act would hopefully decrease the profits of puppy mills and force them to shut down. However, it is critical that arrangements are made for relocating the puppies, or puppies may become homeless or overcrowd shelters. American Humane Society, September 18th, 2023, explains that dogs rescued from puppy mills typically need medical treatment and rehabilitation before they're healthy and ready to be adopted. Showing support to rescue organizations by adopting, volunteering, fostering, or donating helps increase the amount of animals receiving care. Today, we first identified the leading problems with puppy mills, then examined the root causes of their existence, and lastly identified solutions towards shutting them down. With these actionable items, puppy mills will continue Without these actionable items, puppy mills will continue to destroy animals' well-being. So, the next time you or someone you know is looking to get a puppy, remind them that who they buy from matters. Inform them on the risks of purchasing a puppy from a non-credible source, and direct them to reputable sources such as the American Humane Society to locate a reputable shelter. Okay, and my time is 7:38.